Can the kid make it 3 wins in a row? Find out as we follow the Winston Cup Wars to Pocono, Pennsylvania. It is a 2.5-mile triangle, tough to drive, tough for the engine and drivetrain to survive. It is Pocono International Raceway in Pennsylvania. Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Despain, walking to the northeast. Hey, it's hot up here. Look at your weather map. It is red from coast to coast and border to border. The heat wave is supposed to break before the race tomorrow. 500 miles at Pocono in 100-degree heat would be very, very difficult indeed. Difficult for the engines to survive. Hard to get the setup just right on a track where that may be more critical than anywhere else on the circuit. But the biggest story of all this weekend is not mechanical. It is the kid, the wonder boy, Flash Gordon, they call him. I propose a new nickname, Cash Gordon. Have you noticed that when the big bucks are on the line, number 24 is the car to beat? It happened again last weekend. We'll have that story in a moment. First, let's get to qualifying. Yesterday, they took their one-by-one shots at this racetrack. Alan Bestwick was there to cover it.
Well, we knew this time trial session would be fun since we had a fast car at the beginning and a fast car at the end. Jeff Gordon was the second man out, but got a little loose in the last corner.
You know, I might have run a little bit too hard in the last corner. It felt like a good lap, so I said, let's go for it. I got a little bit sideways in that last corner, and it cost us some time. But like I said, when it comes to the race, we're going to be in good shape. This is a good car.
So Gordon looked ahead to the race, and Ken Schrader, the 15th car to run, topped Gordon's time. Then Ted Musgrave ran right after Schrader. He got his best Pocono starting spot ever. Sterling Marlin cracked the leaderboard next. Like everyone else, Marlin thought the heat affected his time.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. It's one of the hottest days I've ever seen here at Pocono for qualifying, and you know, everybody's in the same boat. Look, you know, the sun's going to be out for everybody, and no clouds come over, and usually if you got a late draw, you can pick up a good half second more than what you would, but looks like everybody's in the same boat.
Then the surprise of the day. Bill Elliott knocked Schrader off the top. A surprise because Elliott's only qualified in the top 10 twice all season. Then Morgan Shepherd nailed a good lap in the Wood Brothers Ford, second fastest at the time. Still, Morgan was left wondering what might have been.
I could have took it over the tunnel a little better because the car just really stuck well. You know, all in all, it was a good lap. We're looking forward to the race. That's what we're concentrating on. The last time here, we was off a little bit on the engine, made the wrong engine choice, and ended up running 7th. But we had a real good race set up, and I feel like we'll have a good race set up this time.
Ricky Craven got into the wall off turn 2 on his qualifying lap, the day's only crash. Craven had bumped the wall in turn 3 in practice. Not a good day for that team. Now remember, while all this was going on, everyone's still waiting on Mark Martin to run and expecting him to get the pole. But Mark came up 17/100ths of a second short, and it was over. Bill Elliott had the 47th pole of his Winston Cup career. Now, one more follow-up on qualifying. Rusty Wallace never made a Busch pole run. Inspectors found a problem with the roof flaps on Wallace's car when it went through the tech line. Wallace was not allowed to go. He'll have to qualify in second round Busch pole runs today.
And with that, we talked to Bill Elliott, the pole sitter. Been waiting a while to do this one, and I guess there was a little bit of surprise about you sitting on the pole. Tell me what you heard people saying.
Well, I wondered if anybody else run, you know, because I hadn't been qualifying that well. You know, you look at Daytona, and I was 43rd. Last week, we kind of got our act together. We qualified 4th at New Hampshire, and I think we're kind of turning the corner. The middle part of the race, I ran out of brakes. I let myself use the brakes too much at the first part of the race at New Hampshire last week. And I just kind of had to nurse it to the end, and I was very disappointed with where we ended up because I knew we had a better car than where we ended up. But I see a lot of things coming together with this race team. Mike Beam being back with me, and all the guys have really come back with a good second effort. And, man, all the guys at the shops really worked hard, and it's all paid off. And that's what, if we can just kind of keep our sights and goals set, I think we'll be in good shape the second part of the season.
Was there ever a time in this whole saga of Bill Elliott, as you're digging your way back from having to really start over again, where you doubted yourself or your team or your ability and said, man, we may not get this pulled off?
Well, Rusty Wallace told me one time, and just in kind of casual conversations, never doubt yourself. You know, whatever happens is too many things today are too technical. You know, I won several races, and I felt like good enough, long enough, that surely to goodness there's nothing wrong with me. And I feel like the day I'm not competitive, I won't be in this business because, you know, the kids are coming along. But, you know, you got Jeff Gordon, you got a lot of the other kids that are coming along that want to knock you off the stop, and, you know, they're going to do that, and that's just a part of the business, you know, as I came along back a number of years ago. But, you know, still, you know, I know I'm still a competitive person. I know we can put together a competitive car. I know we got the ingredients there now if we can just get it all mixed up and ready for the second half of the season.
All right, man, congratulations. Get your Busch Clash tickets now because Elliott's in her for next year. He's got the pole here at Pocono. Let's take a look at your top 20. A lot of Fords up front. Elliott, Martin, and Shepard, the top 3. Schrader and Earnhardt are your first 2 Chevys. In the second 10 are title contenders Marlin and Musgrave. Bobby Hamilton, the first Pontiac. Good run again for Nemechek and Mast. Gordon back in 11th. If there's a big surprise of qualifying, perhaps that would be it. And as you take a look at the rest of the top 20, let's go back up to the head of the grid and hear from the outside pole sitter. And with that, we go to the outside of the front row. This is going to be kind of a regular occasion here, talking to Martin. You guys put a lot of emphasis on qualifying, or is it just a coincidence that you're up front so often?
We just run good. You know, I've always been a good qualifier. We don't put a lot of emphasis. We bring our best stuff and every week, and we just do our thing. I mean, we don't try extra hard. We only need 1 pole a year, and we've accidentally got 2 this year, so we sit on the outside pole here at Pocono an awful lot. It's no surprise.
That,
yeah, it happens all the time. Everybody always says, oh, you're the fastest. I say, no, somebody always goes faster. So.
And, you know, I got the impression that, I mean, you always want to win the pole. When you don't, you're disappointed. But I got the idea that losing it to Elliott didn't really seem to bother you too much. You were grinning about his good luck.
Well, I'm happy for Bill. You know, they've really had, you know, their work cut out for them this year. And that's a good shot in the arm for them. And maybe he won't win the race, though, and leave it for... I'd still like to have a shot at that $120,000 Unical money.
All right, well, we'll keep that in the bank. Thank you very much, and good luck. How about the Ford guys dominating the first block of NASCAR today, shoving the Chevy guys into block 2? We'll hear from them when we come back to Pocono.
NASCAR Today is brought to you by the NASCAR Story, the complete history of NASCAR on home video. To order, call 1-800-71-NASCAR.
All right, we move on. Top of the show, I told you I thought the guy who drives this car, Jeff Gordon, should be called not Flash Gordon, but Cash Gordon, because when the big money is on the line, he's the guy who comes through. Consider that he has won $1.5 million this year, 50% more than his next nearest rival, Dale Earnhardt. So how does the boy do that? Well, for one thing, he wins the money races. Brickyard 400 last year was worth $613,000. He takes advantage of the misfortunes of others. Earnhardt crashes at Talladega. There's a bonus on the line for the point leader. Sure enough, Jeff Gordon takes the bonus cash home from Alabama. He wins the big money races. How about the biggest money race of all? The Winston Select at Charlotte Motor Speedway, $300,000 for the kid. And last weekend, another bonus for the point leader. Gordon wins the race and the bonus for the second time. All right, let's talk to the guy who's bringing home all the money, Jeff Gordon. Is this a happy coincidence that you win the big money races and the big money opportunities, or do you guys bear down a little harder for those opportunities?
No, I think it's just a coincidence. You know, it just happens to be that the tracks that we've been strong at this year happen to have a lot of money up for grabs. But, you know, I think there are certain places where we go all out. And, you know, the big money one's coming up here in a couple of weeks. Now, I can guarantee you we're going to go for it there.
In case you were born yesterday, he's talking about the Brickyard 400. He has reasons to like that race. Let me ask you about this place. Life is not perfect. The missed shift here cost you the win in June. Aside from making sure you got that sucker in gear, what do you really have to focus on this racetrack?
Well, you know, we really never qualify that good here. We've been as fast as third here, but usually we're about 6th back to 15th or something, and you know, that doesn't really worry me. The car has been so good here in the race at a lot of times, but we always had some kind of trouble towards the end of the race. So, you know, just getting past that would be wonderful. No missed shifts, no blown engines, no whatever. You know, don't spin out under caution. We've had a lot of crazy things happen to us here, but you know, it's a racetrack that I really enjoy, and I think we're going to be really good when it comes to the race. But we'll have to see what happens. I don't know.
Okay, man, we wish you good luck. That's Jeff Gordon. Let's go across the garage area. Alan Bestwick is with the defending Winston Cup champion.
All right, Dave, here's the champ. You lost 192 points since we were here a month ago. What happened to that momentum, and is there any one thing involved there?
Well, a couple of crashes and a couple of miscues on, you know, chassis set up here last race, but you know, the pit stop up at New Hampshire cost us a lot. So, you know, you got to run up front, and it's competitive this day and time, not have any miscues, and that's bit us right now.
All the rumors and so on that's been going on about you and your team and this kind of thing. What's the timetable for finishing your renegotiation and getting it all out of the way so we can stop all this nonsense?
Well, we're good through 96, and we're working on 7, 8, and 9, and that should be done here in the next month or two. We're working on it now.
How about this racetrack? One of your better ones over the years or not?
Well, we've won here. We didn't do so well last race here, but we're looking forward to this race. I think we'll be in good shape.
All right, Dale. Good luck on Sunday. That's Dale Earnhardt trying to make up some of that lost ground, Dave.
All right, thanks, guys. Earnhardt's bunch back here pretty committed to the idea of a one-car team, but more and more the conventional wisdom says the perfect number for Winston Cup teams is 2 cars or more. We'll look at that story when we come back. Welcome back to Pocono. It's a good week, I think, to revisit an old question in Winston Cup racing. How many cars in a perfect team? A lot of garage talk about the Kranifus Haas outfit going to 2 cars next year. They have 2 owners. They might as well have 2 cars. The point standings reflect a variety of different approaches to this question. You got the point leader Gordon from a 3-car stable. His teammates Labonte and Schrader 6th and 11th respectively. The Marlin and Earnhardt outfits pretty committed to the 1-car concept. Martin and Musgrave, of course, drive the top Fords in the series, and they are stablemates in a 2-car outfit. So what's the best way to go? A lot of guys like the multi-team idea. We took our trusty microphone and went looking for some answers.
Well, I tell you, I think 2-car teams can work. It's just got to be the right blend of chemistry. You got to have the right crew chiefs so they don't feel like they're competing against one another. You've got to have the right the chemistry with the drivers, and all the way down through the whole operation. It can work.
Rod should know he spent 4 years with Hendrick's multi-car operation, decided single-car life was better for him, especially if he owned the car. But at least one single-car team driver likes the multi-car concept.
If you have somebody that you can work with, that you can correlate well with a driver, there's no animosity between the 2 drivers. Collectively, I think you can be better, and I think that's what that Hendricks and some of the other teams have utilized to their benefit. And you know, I think if we had a sponsor come here, I think that Bobby and myself, I think we'd be, you know, very open to having a 2-car team.
So Hendrick cars have 6 wins. Roush cars, 4th and 5th in points, are the top Fords in the game. The key to success, sharing information.
It's a matter of understanding what each guy's strength is and using him for what he's worth and talking a lot about what you did to make your race car run faster, and hopefully at the end of the day you'll have 2 cars running fast.
We got to where we are this fast because we were able to go on the 10 years of experience that Randy Dorton and Ken Howes and all the people at Hendrick Motorsports that have helped us get. You know, Eddie Dickerson, all his guys there. You know, when we have a question, we can rely on Hendrick Motorsports' past experience, so we didn't really do it by ourselves.
2 cars in one team could be your worst nightmare. On the other hand, if the drivers believe in one another and if they want to help one another, well, then it could work as well as ours is.
Through past experience in Trans Am and IMSA, Roush has developed a multi-car philosophy. 1 team, 2 drivers.
Anybody that ever comes to our shop can see that the same guys build the cars, the same guys paint the cars, the same guys work on all the engines and the transmissions and the rear end gears and wiring harnesses, and all the parts that go into these 2 race cars are really done by the same people. So it really is 1 team with 2 drivers.
1 team with 2 drivers, and Alan Bestwick is standing by with one of those 2 right now. He's 4th ranked in the Winston Cup standings. Let's hear from Ted Musgrave.
All right, let's talk with best in class. Ford class, Ted Musgrave, the first Ford in the point standings. He's 4th right now. Is that your goal at this point, to stay the best of the Fords, or do you really think in the second half of the year you can do something with some of those Monte Carlos in front of you?
Well, there's only 3 Monte Carlos right now in front of us, and yeah, we're best in class, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of good Fords right behind me, and if you look at it, the top 2 are Roush Fords, and that's what we kind of just set out to, you know, that was our goal. Set out and get out there with the 2 top Fords being Roush teammates. That second half of the season, even if it switched back and forth, if Mark got ahead of me and I got behind him, that's still great. You know, we just need to stay in the top 10. I need to stay in the top 10 this year, and Mark, he's going to try for the championship. I just love to stay in the top 5.
Your confidence, it's visible to someone like me, has grown enormously all season long. Are you beginning to put more pressure on yourself now to turn that confidence into a trip to victory lane?
No, I don't really think I should do that, because if I do that, I might pressure myself into mistakes and going out there and doing things on the racetrack I shouldn't do, or get myself in trouble in positions and get in wrecks. So
I'm not going to do or change my game plan. I'm not going to do anything different. And hopefully that if I do something like that, the second half will outcome be the same as the first.
Well, you got 5 straight top 10 finishes. That's not bad. And Ted Musgrave always runs good here at Pocono. I'll bet he's in the hunt for the win tomorrow, Dave.
All right, thanks, Alan. Musgrave was second here in June. He knows the importance of keeping an engine together for 500 miles at Pocono, and it isn't easy. The engine builders will tell you this is a tough track to build for, and they all come here with their own bag of tricks. For example, don't let that motor sit on the hot asphalt. Get it up in the air in that nice cool breeze till it's ready to go in the car. Nah, that's not really a trick. I just made that up. But you need all the tricks you can come up with here because this place is tough on motors.
On the engines, it's definitely one of the toughest. Tough in a lot of other cases, too, though. I mean, you know, the gearbox, the gears, pretty hard on a driver. Engines, yeah, definitely one of the toughest.
And why is Pocono so tough on the power plants? Ask Tim Brewer.
First thing you do, you turn the motor a lot of RPMs in turn 1. Well, a 200-lap race, that's no big deal. But 200-lap race, when the first thing you do when you get down there in turn 1 is throw it up in third gear, you abuse it another 200 times on this short chute and another 200 times on this short chute. So that's 600 times you're turning the motor excess of 88, 8,900.
Using a Jericho transmission, effectively an overdrive, has helped solve that RPM problem here at Pocono. But hey, don't forget what happened in June. Jeff Gordon shifting gears, missed one, blew the motor with 10 laps to go, and lost the last race here at Pocono. When we come back, Dave Marcus, rumors, and more. Stay tuned for more from Pocono. We're back. It's Pocono. It's hot. I got news. I got rumors. The number 40 Kendall Motorsports Pontiac Dick Brooks car will be driven here this week by Rich Bickle. And next week at Talladega by Randy LaJoie, the first of 4 appearances he will make in that car. And the following week at the road race up at Watkins Glen by Butch Leitzinger. Can you say musical chairs? Rumors that Dave Marcus will put Ward Burton in a research and development team next year. Marcus will be a car owner, and it's actually a shadow deal for Richard Childress. Marcus says no, wrong, nothing to any of that. It will not happen. He's going to drive his own car again next year, and he and I are still arguing about whether it will be his 29th or 30th Winston Cup season. He's older than the record book. And finally, Hendrick Motorsports put out a press release this week that said, A, all of our drivers will remain the same next year, and B, all of our sponsors will remain the same next year, and C, the same sponsors will be with the same drivers. All right, this guy's car owner doesn't have to put out press releases clarifying the situation. This guy is his car owner, Jeff Bodine. You got a little penalty thrown at you last week. A lot of people were wondering about, but after that, you were really hooked up. I think you're ready to win another one. You're the defending champion in this race. Is this the weekend?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, we were running very good last week at Loudon. We've run well the last 4 or 5 races, really. Just had some bad luck to go along with it, but hopefully this weekend we'll change everything, have good luck, and win here at Pocono. It'd be nice.
They say the weather's going to change on Sunday. Racetrack will be tough to set up for. Are you confident in your ability to react to the conditions here?
Well, remember last race? We didn't even practice on Saturday. So, this Winston Cup outfit, they can adjust to any conditions, any kind you throw at us. So we're not worried about weather changes or anything. We think right now we're ready to go race.
He made it work here a year ago this weekend. Good luck this weekend, Jeff Bodine, the defending race champion. He had the hot setup last year. This year, everybody's setup has been hot so far because of the weather. There's a report the weather's going to change. Regardless of what happens with the weather, this is going to be a key component here at Pocono. In the age of radial tires, shock absorbers are critical to a decent setup. Alan Bestwick has the what, why, and wherefore.
Used to be, Dave, if a team needed to adjust their car, they did it with tire stagger, the difference in circumference of the tires, or springs. Well, the radial tires eliminated stagger, and the teams figured out springs a while ago. Now, if you want to find a Winston Cup crew chief, a good place to start is inside his truck at the shock dyno. We've all heard of engine dynos, but shocks and shock dynos to test them have become a big item in the garage.
Probably on Sunday morning you can go through the garage and there's not a handful of differences in spring combinations. Everybody pretty much knows what springs it takes. But the difference now is we've been able to take apart our own shocks and tune them ourselves, and that seems to be where the little differences are between a good car and a bad car.
Used to be you pulled 4 shocks out of the box and bolted them on and off you went, but the science of today's race car requires more precision than that. Now you custom build a shock for the compression and rebound you want, then head for the $30,000 shock dyno in the truck.
motors have dynos is to see how good a power they make. Well, a shock dyno also lets us, if we build two shocks just alike, we want to make sure that they are just alike, and a shock dyno helps us in that capacity.
Here's what that machine looks like. Gary Dehart, Terry Labonte's crew chief, was kind enough to let us watch while he tested a shock. Gary was one of the first crew chiefs to use a shock dyno. He explains what's happening here.
Basically, as it goes up, that's compression. When it goes down, that's rebound. So what we're doing is we want to know how much force it's taking to push it up at that shaft speed and pull it out at that shaft speed.
The dyno gathers the data into a computer, then offers a graph to show exact results.
As it's going up, this is the side of the zero line that you read the bump on. As it goes down, this is the side of the zero line you read the rebound on.
So if you want to find a crew chief at the track, look inside the truck at the shock dyno. If he's not spending a lot of time there, he's probably not running up front.
All right, when you're setting up the shock absorbers, one of the most important factors to consider is heat, and we have plenty of that this weekend. Everywhere you look at racetracks, there's black asphalt. Nothing in the world is hotter than black asphalt. Come with me. Let me show you what race fans are smart. All this black asphalt, they found the one tree on the whole property, and they're under there staying cool and comfortable as best they can. I have good news for those people. It's supposed to cool off here on Sunday. The heat wave is supposed to break for the race tomorrow. But that is not necessarily good news for those who try to set up the cars.
It's a big deal. You know, the more heat we get in the racetrack, the slicker the track's going to be, the harder it's going to be to get a hold of it. We're going to have to really work hard probably at tuning the cars for that condition.
The only good thing we have is we have notes from the past we can go back on. If it's a 70-degree day, 80-degree day, we can go back to those notes and kind of work our setup out that way.
Now, don't you even think about touching that dial, because we're going to take one quick break and come right back with more from Pocono International Raceway. In the top 10 in the Winston Cup standings this week, Michael Waltrip and Morgan Shepherd are all hooked up in the race for 8th place. That's Morgan's car making all the noise back there. The Wood Brothers Ford, it's a landmark weekend for Morgan, coming off a great run last week at Loudon where he was second. He'll make his 400th start this weekend. He's with Alan Bestwick.
Morgan Shepherd had his best finish of the season last Sunday. He finished second. Morgan, a great run for you. A little momentum for this team to carry into the second half?
Well, you know, anytime that you can have good runs, it kind of boosts everybody up. It makes your pit stops better. It just, you know, when you're having a lot of bad luck, it pulls everybody down. It don't make no difference how hard you try or whatever. And when things start happening for you, it gets everybody back going again.
Talk to me about the race here tomorrow as far as the keys to the race. It's hot here, but it's supposed to be cooler when you drop the green flag. Big effect?
Well, I hope it don't cool down. I hope it stays hot. The last time here we ran 7th and had a good handling car, but our engine was a little bit short. We made the wrong choice on the engine. We feel like we got a better choice this time, so I feel like Sidco Thunderbird is going to perform a lot better tomorrow, hot or cold.
All right, Morgan, thank you. Morgan Shepherd got 3 top 5 finishes in the last 4 races here at Pocono. Dave?
All right, good luck tomorrow, Morgan. No matter how hot it is, we always hurry, and we still run short of time. Got to get out of here. Back tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2 with our Sunday special preview edition of NASCAR Today. With that, we're gone. I'm Dave Despain for Alan Bestwick. So long from Pocono.